temperature dropped outside and it's gotten a little bit chilly. That means I'm in the mood for soup. So I pulled a couple things together and we're gonna make some soup today. Tomato basil sounds delicious. I'm Amy Garman. Welcome to my kitchen table. Today's postcard is about soup. Well, I've washed my hands and gotten my soup pot out. Here are the ingredients that I need for the soup today. I've got some olive oil, some tomato sauce, and some whole tomatoes. I also have an onion and some celery that we're going to chop up to put in. And I grabbed a little parsley and basil from my garden as well. I've got some paste, some tomato paste to use to help thicken the soup. This is my secret ingredient. I love putting some pimentos in my tomato basil soup. I've got a little vegetable broth. We're going to put these things in one by one and let them start to get the flavors together. Then to make it creamy bliss, we're going to use the stick blender at the end. Let's get started. Now I've given my celery and onions a rough chop. No need to be very consistent here. We're going to be using our stick blender later anyway to make the soup creamy. I'm just going to go ahead and toss this in. I've put a little olive oil into this soup. Oh, just listen to that sizzle. This is going to be delicious. I've already added some salt and pepper to our very fragrant and delicious onions and celery. Now it's time to add some of the vegetable broth. This is just going to add another layer of flavor to the soup that's going to be delicious. We're going to add our can of tomatoes. We're going to add our pimentos even with the juice. We're just going to dump that right in. I chopped up the parsley, but again, since we're going to use the stick blender, I'm not too worried about it being a rough chop. We'll smooth this out later. We're going to add that's the parsley, and now in goes some of the delicious, fragrant, fresh basil. We're going to let this start cooking, then we're going to add our sauce. Our soup smells delicious. It has been simmering away. And as you can see, we've added everything. Everything's chunky in there. It's time to use our stick blender to smooth this all into its creamy deliciousness. That's going to be our tomato basil soup. Well, I've got my soup in the bowl and it smells so fragrant, so warm. This is definitely exactly what I needed today. Some soup. I'm going to garnish it with some more fresh basil. As it stands now, it's a completely vegan soup. If you want, you can add some things to it to finish it. I love cheese. I can't help it. I'm going to add a little bit of fresh Parmesan cheese as well. I can't wait to dig in. What goes perfectly with a bowl of soup? Grilled sandwiches, of course. Wait for my next postcard on the best and easiest grilled sandwiches you'll ever have. I can't wait to see you back. Have a seat at my kitchen table. Let's eat.